Hey guys, welcome back to Good Vibras. I'm your host, Brielle Figueroa, and we are back for another episode. I hope you guys are doing well and thriving and working on being the best versions of yourself. Today, I have a special guest, and I'm so excited to have her on my show. So, everyone, say hello to Liz.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on, Brielle.
Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. I honestly am super inspired by the content you post, which everyone, don't worry, all her information will be in the description so you could see who Liz is and what she does. But yeah, I came across Liz's page back during 2020 during COVID, and she came up on my For You page, and I saw that she was all like fitness, health, and wellness, and started following you. And then she ended up knowing my brother. They followed each other. So I was like, oh my gosh, she seems cool. And I think I slid into your DMs one time about book requests or something. I don't know. You had posted
Oh,
something, and I was
probably.
like, yeah. And I was like, I really like this girl. And then I saw you started a podcast, which you guys will have the
Yeah.
link to that as well. So yeah. So Liz, tell me a little about yourself, because I know you're from Jersey, hometown.
Yes, I am. I'm from Jersey, born and bred, classic Jersey girl. I think if I were to sum myself up, obviously a lot of people know me because I'm very big into the gym and fitness influencing and personal training and all that stuff. I also have, other hobbies and other personality traits, which is kind of why I started my podcast, just to not only educate about like the fitness space, but also just talk to the people that want to listen about like just being a 23-year-old gal, TV shows I watch, the music I like to listen to. I love like reading and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a little bit of a creative girl, I would say.
I
On
love
the
that
side.
because I feel like it's so hard to balance. Like, how did you start your journey? Like, let's start.
So I grew up playing sports. And then my senior year, all through elementary school, college, or high school, my senior year, things started to close out. I was done playing soccer. Like I was in my last season of track. And at the same time, I was going through a lot of personal stuff. Like my parents were finalizing their divorce. Like I just wasn't like, I was having a tough time with like friends at school and bullying and all that nonsense. I needed a place to go to get out of the house and like be by myself and just like with my own thoughts and not be bothered. And all the members of my family had a YMCA gym membership, which was like a half a mile from my house. So I would drive there or ride my bike there, and I started going just to really get out. And then once I was there, I was kind of like, all right, like this is kind of cool. Like being able to lift weights and stuff and feeling strong is like a really cool feeling. And from then I just fell in love with it and was so eager to learn more and transform my body and take care of my health and stuff, which led me to get my personal training certification, and the ball kept rolling from there.
That's awesome. Isn't it how like something in our lives can change? Like, some challenge, a curveball could be thrown our way. And like you can either utilize that, use it for your advantage for in a good way, or it can take you like off your path in life and just in a dark place. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I always say I'll joke or laugh about like things that have happened to me, like bad incidents, like stuff with boyfriends and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, if I don't laugh about it, then it's just a traumatic and sad scenario.
Right.
So
It's true. It's all about
that's my little
perspective,
motto.
right? Oh, okay. Well, here I am, still gonna live my life.
Exactly.
That is awesome. So how do you balance it all? Because
Exactly.
I know you work a regular job, right? Like a regular 9 to 5.
Yes. So luckily I work for a company that we're hybrid and they allow for like flex hours. So
Yes.
I can get in the office early, and that means I can leave early as long as I get my work done and stuff for the day. So although I would love to sleep in, I typically start my days pretty early. The days that I'm going into the office, I'll get there around 7:30 and leave by 4. So that way I still have time to either train, like I have one client in person that I still train on Tuesdays, or I go to the gym myself and then I'm able to get home at like 8. It's still pretty tiring. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I'm like go, go, go. And then once I actually get
Right.
home, I'm like, oof, I'm tired. But I think what really helps me is like I'm very schedule oriented. My
Me
weekends are
too.
a bit of a mess. I let myself sleep, I do whatever, I'm very flexible. But during the week, it's like we're doing this at this time and that at that time. And it just becomes a routine. And then I don't even think about it. It's just something that I'm doing.
Right. Yeah, routines are awesome. I love routines. There's so much structure, and I feel like
Mhm.
I'm big on like consistency. Like things have to be the same. My routine can be the same every day, and I'm totally okay with that. I don't know if that's like a type A personality thing or because I don't know,
Yeah,
it keeps
I'm
me
definitely that way.
safe. Yeah. So you go to the gyms after work. So you start early, go to work, and then go do your workouts afterwards.
Yeah, I played around with it for a little bit when I first started working, like my first month or two working full time. I was going beforehand, and then I was like, why am I getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym when I come home and or the days I'm working from home, I do nothing after that. It's like I don't have a family that I have to take care of
Right.
or anything. I don't even have like pets right now or anything. So I don't have any responsibilities. Like I can just go afterwards. And luckily I go to a private gym. So it's not
Mm.
that crazy crowd. I did the crazy crowded stuff for a full like
Right.
this year of working. There's ways to work around it. You just gotta share equipment with people. But I found that I have more energy going after. And it gives me something to look
Really?
forward to throughout the workday.
That is so true. That's a good way to look at it. I feel like, yeah, I know for me after work, I am so drained. Like, do you ever have moments where you're just like, I don't want to go? Like, how do you push yourself to still stay like consistent?
So I'm at the point now where it's like not an option for me almost. Like that's the way I explain
Mm.
it to people where it's like, okay, I have to go to work. There are days that I really don't want to go to work and I'm really tired when my alarm gets up, but I don't have an option. I have to go to work. So I kind of think of my health the same way where I'm like, okay, I have to take my multivitamin. I have to exercise otherwise like there's no option for me.
Yeah.
There are definitely days where I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, holy crap, like I really rather just go home.
Right.
And this is like, it really is like the best part of my day. I remind myself, you're never going to leave the gym and say, like, wow, I really wish I didn't do that. And I just
That's
kind of
so
hype it up.
true.
Like, I'm like, you packed a really cute outfit. Like, you already put like your pre workout in your water bottle. Like, you have to go.
That's so true. I love that. It's true because those days, like when you're swamped at work or you're just tired, like the last thing you want to do is go to the gym. But it's true. Once you go, it's like that getting yourself to the gym part. Because once you're there and after you work out, you're like, I feel good, like
Yeah.
confidence here, everything is here, your endorphins are released. It's just like taking that step, which I know me, like I've struggled with that. Like, and I know a lot of people do. It's taking that step. Like everyone has the motivation but motivation dies out eventually. Like it's discipline and all of that. Like how do you how do you stay disciplined even with your meals? Like I notice you're very like you eat like very well and it's like a routine.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's like, I'm just a very routine oriented person. And I think it might be a little extremist, but I'm just like, I eat the same stuff or like the same three breakfasts really. And it's stuff that it's not like it's a chore for me. Like I love what I eat. I
Right.
think that I think my hardest challenge right now is coming home from the gym and knowing I have to like pack my lunch for the next day for work. And I'm like, I really just want to sit down. Like, I don't want to make myself a sandwich right now.
Right.
So I've been trying to do that when I do my dinners. I meal prep all my dinners on Sunday. So that way during the week, one, I don't have to cook. So I just come home from the gym and dinner's ready for me. And two, it's like now that I've made the healthy meals and they're there, I have to eat them. Otherwise, they're going to go to waste.
Yeah, that's so true. Like I struggle a lot with like eating in general because I'm always on the go and I'm like, oh, I don't have time. And like I started doing like my overnight oats. I'm like, okay, at least I can get this in my stomach. But how do you like do you meal prep for the whole week or do you meal prep for like 3 days and then, like how do you plan that? Is it like a Sunday
So I
thing?
meal
Like
prep Monday through Thursday because
okay.
Friday and Saturday I never really know where I'm going to be. Like I might be home, I might be out, nobody knows. Sunday I normally go grocery shopping, so I'll just pick up something for myself or make like pasta with chicken or whatever. But Monday through Thursday I make all my meals and I've done really well, I think, since moving home from college with finding new recipes and like experimenting with cooking. So
Yeah.
they're not like I'm not going home and eating chicken and rice. It's
Right.
something that like is delicious. I don't mind eating it 4 nights in a row. Plus, when I
Right.
get home from the gym, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm so hungry that I'll eat anything.
Right. I bet. Yeah, that's awesome, honestly. Like I feel like I'm just gonna work out, but if you're not feeding yourself, like you're not gaining anything from it. It's a loss essentially because you got to feel your body. Like, and I know you have, do you have are you partnered up with protein, right? You're partnered up with a protein
Yes.
brand?
Yes, I
Okay.
work with One Up Nutrition. Yep.
One Up. Okay, yeah. It's funny. There's another influencer here in Tampa. Does fitness and she's with One Up too. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've
they're based
seen
in
the
Miami, actually.
Yeah. They had like an event. Did you go to the event
No,
or
I didn't go. Maybe next year.
you should go. I could see you there.
It would
That
be
is
fun.
so cool though. Yeah, that's awesome. Honestly, like that discipline and motivation, like
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is just the way that I was like raised,
yeah,
kind of too. Like that my mom was always a very hardworking like student growing up and stuff, but my dad specifically, he came to the United States when he was 5. So he grew up here, like basically his whole life was here. But his parents were from like China and then Taiwan, and they're the Asian culture is very like cold kind of, and it's
right.
basically like they're very cold and very blunt. And my dad came here and his parents like didn't care about his education. His parents couldn't financially support him and get him through college and stuff, so he had no choice but to work his butt off. So he kind of brought it to us when we were kids, like instilled in us like, I worked so hard to provide you guys opportunities in life, you better work your butt off to take advantage of them. I grew up that way and always just pushing myself in school. And when I was in high school, oh my God, the bus used to get me at like 6:30, and then I would go to track practice after school, and then I would go to work after track practice and somehow do homework for my
Wow.
AP classes. Like I don't know how I did it, but I don't
It's
know.
true. You started that so young. Yeah, that's a lot. And I know,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, those early bus rides and then getting to the school. By the way, Liz and I did go to the same high school. So,
Mhm.
um, when I would get on the bus and I would look at all the like track and like all the like the baseball team, like everyone doing sports, and I always thought to myself, man, how are they doing that? I always felt exhausted after class. I mean, we're in
Yeah, I mean,
classes
you're up at 5 in the
rotating.
morning. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how, looking back at like the life I lived in high school, are young people just that like have that much energy? Like, how did I get through
Right.
that? Because now I work 9 to 5 and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired at the end of the day.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I love that though. Honestly, that's amazing. Like just how you can balance everything and you do social media. So like, I mean, social media, I feel like people don't really understand how much time it takes to create content, to make the edits, to post it. I'm like, they gotta stop inventing social media platforms because it's
I
overwhelming
know.
at this point.
Can we be done? Like, we have enough. We have videos, we have pictures, we have Twitter.
Literally. I'm like, oh, I gotta post it here. Oh, because I posted it here, I gotta post it. Like it's a lot.
And
But
they
how
don't
do
let you,
you
like, if you want to monetize off it, it's like, oh, you can't save it from TikTok because if you post on Instagram, we won't pay you for this. So I'm making 4 versions of the same
Yes.
video.
Literally. Like, so how do you fit that in your routine and your podcast too? Because you also have the podcast and that's a lot.
So the podcast was definitely something that I put on top of my already packed schedule that I don't regret it at all. I love having the platform, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback. Like it surprises me honestly still that people even listen. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys heard that? You guys actually pay
Yeah.
attention? With social media, I'm kind of lucky where a lot of the content that I post is like my actual workouts from the gym. So it's easy for me to create the content. It's just my workouts. It's just the putting it together and writing out the captions that
Right.
takes a while. Luckily, Instagram now has like the schedule post feature, but what I was doing was honestly, and I would type and set up my post for the next day while I was on the treadmill. So that saved
Wow.
a lot of time. So I'm
That's
lucky in that sense.
awesome. Yeah, and yeah, you're right. Instagram does have the scheduled, so it makes it a little bit easier, but that is awesome. There's one question I want to ask you something because I feel like this is something that a lot of people deal with. How do you like even for newbies, like your best advice for people who might want to be in the gym and start, but they don't know where to start, they're nervous.
My best advice is to definitely utilize your resources. And what I mean by that is there's pages like my page, or like when I started, I lived by Whitney Simmons. And I like the two of us, like our and many other pages, write out a workout for you and give video demonstration. So I think that that's really helpful as long as you have a credible source. So that way you can look at the exercises and know what they are and get a visual of it.
Right.
But kind of pairing with that, go into the gym with a plan. It will be a lot less stressful. When I started going to the gym, I walked in and was like, okay, I'm going to do back today. And that was it. And then I was like, all right, where should I start? But going
Right.
in with an actual plan, yeah, makes it a lot less intimidating. And it's like, you have a destination, you know what you got to do next. And you have, like, you're not going to look around like a lost puppy kind of.
Right. Yeah. Cause there's like, you walk in, there's like, okay, there's so many machines. Wait, where's the machine I need? That is great advice. Yeah. Cause I feel like that's a common thing. I know for me too, like before, like, I'm sure, like, on my social, I post about like my lupus and how
Mhm.
prior to that, I was so invested. Like, I was just starting my fitness journey. My friend was training me. Like, I would work night shift, get up, sleep 4 hours, and I was right at the track and field when it was nice. And I started my routine and it was so good. And then I was in the gym, I was feeling good. And then I got sick and I'm slowly reintroducing it back into my life again. Cause with lupus, I mean, it's just always affecting my body in some way, my
Right.
joints. So it's such a challenge. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could start, doing Pilates, start at home. And I'm like, I found myself again, like I love having someone training me because they're like, do this, do that. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
just take have to do because I function better that way. But I'm like, but I want to know like when I go into the gym, what I'm doing, like not depend on like someone, like be able to be like, okay, this machine does this, like this will help this part of my body.
I lived by Whitney Simmons when I started. My first year of my fitness journey, I lived and died by her. I watched all of her YouTube videos, everything she posted on Instagram, and she was good. She was definitely informative, but it wasn't going to teach me everything I needed to know. My After my freshman year of college, which is like one full year, I would say, of me going to the gym consistently, I decided to pursue getting my personal training certification, and that taught me a lot. So I'm very grateful for that. But there's also I found other accounts on the way, account called Physique, Pheas,
Okay.
something crazy like that. And that guy's account is solely dedicated to, like, he draws graphics and gives like easy explanations of either like fitness related topics or specific exercises in a way that like anybody can understand if you're not an exercise science major. Yeah, I share his stuff a lot on my story just because I'm like, this is everything that I would say in a picture. There you go.
Right. That is so cool. Yeah, I love how like that's like a one of the pros to social media, like so much
Yeah.
access to different resources. Even like you said, like you guys post the workout, but in the description you put like, okay, these are the reps, this is what you do. Like, and that's super helpful. Like if someone told me, okay, do this, I'd be like, but can I see like I have to see you do it. I have to like see what I'm targeting. And then when I do it, I'll be like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Like I feel more confident doing stuff like that. That's awesome. Yeah, I forgot you do personal training too. So do you
Too.
have like how do you balance that?
It's a lot. I started personal training when I was a sophomore in college for Rutgers, and I still do personal train for Rutgers. COVID
Nice.
kind of blessed me in a way where we started to introduce virtual training. So I only have one in-person client. I told my boss when I graduated I wasn't going to take on any in-person clients, only Zoom. And then nobody would pick up this girl, like, just not because of who she was, but like just nobody was answering for like weeks for this client. So I finally answered and was like, you know what, no one wants to step up, I'll step up until somebody else takes her. So I started meeting with her in person thinking like, oh, it's going to be temporary, but she's just so awesome, and it's so much fun to work with her that I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm keeping you, you're mine. So I meet with her in person one time a week on Tuesdays, so it's not that bad. It's Rutgers and my office are very close together too, so I'm able to make it
Nice.
work. And then I offer online training, which is great because I don't have to like show up at a certain time and place for that. And then
Right.
I do offer training at my gym that I go to. But I only offer that up on the weekends because my weekdays, I can't put that on
Yeah.
my shoulders with everything else.
Right. That's so awesome though. And it must be nice too, because it's like where these people are coming from and they want to achieve because you were once in that situation, in that same place. So it's like that's super that must be fulfilling. Like it must be really nice.
It is when you have the good clients. I've had some clients that just are like disrespectful, don't want to listen to me, like don't.
Really?
Oh yeah, you get everybody under the sun, or like
Oh my
I
God.
can't do it. No, I can't. Like just like kind of fighting against you. And then I have some clients that are just so like even now, if I go to like load a barbell for my in-person client, she's like, I could do it by myself, and I'm like, you're right. No, you can. I love that. I love that.
Well, if I lived in Jersey, I definitely would be like, Liz, can I be one of your in-person clients? Because I need a trainer.
Yeah, no, I'm like, hey, I think that's also like a great, like if you're really stuck and you don't want to go to the gym and be confused and stuff, get a small personal training package. Meet with someone for like 5 sessions. Figure out
Yeah.
what to do, what targets what, and then go on your own and utilize Instagram and TikTok and all that from there.
I know you have resources too, which I'll collect all this information from you. That way I can leave it in the description. But I know you have, I remember you had posted once you had a guide, right? Or something like that. Like you have
Yeah, I have workout guides on my website. So it's literally like if you download it and they're so cheap, like $10. It's just a step by step, like 8 week plan of what to do.
nice. And do you do a nutrition as well, or you do just the
I
fitness
have
portion?
macro, like with a personal being a personal trainer, you're allowed to give people macro plans. I
Okay.
can't give you a diet plan because I'm not a registered dietitian or nutrition.
So what's a macro plan?
So your macros are carbs, protein, and fat. And basically, what I could do is tell you, okay, for your activity level and for your weight, you should be eating this amount of calories a day. You should aim for this amount of protein,
Mm.
this amount of carbs, and this amount of fat. But I can't tell you, okay, for lunch, you're going to have a chicken sandwich on whole wheat bread with carrots on the side. Like that's what a dietitian would do. I could just tell you how much.
That is good to know. Yeah, I know I definitely don't eat the amount of calories I'm supposed to. Do you ever struggle with eating sometimes? Like, how do you push yourself to be like, okay, well, this is going to fuel my body, so I need to eat it even if I don't want to?
I think that the only like I love to eat and I love to snack. So on a normal day, like I'm totally fine. But one thing that I've struggled with is I have pretty bad anxiety and it's gotten better because I like took steps to get on medication and it's like a lot more manageable now. But when I get like really anxious, it takes over like my whole body or like I have panic attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
And the thought of food just makes me like so nauseous. Like I can't, like I don't want to eat anything. So, but I know I need to. Where I'm like, okay, like you've worked so hard and like this is just a phase. Like I can't get myself to eat anything. My go-to, and this is what I tell my friends who go through similar things, is I make like a loaded smoothie. That's my first
Mm.
go-to. So I'll put like fruit, peanut butter, like chocolate syrup, protein powder, like whatever to get as many calories in that smoothie. And then if it takes me 5 hours to finish the whole thing, fine. It takes me 5 hours just sipping on it, but at least I'm getting stuff in my body. So
Yeah.
that's like my go-to when I'm like I like the thought of food makes me nauseous.
I love that. Yeah. Cause I definitely, when I'm anxious or stressed, I lose my appetite and I'm like, this isn't good. Like, I'm going to lose weight. Like, that's not doing me any good. But I genuinely cannot eat. Like, my body's like, nope, don't want food. But I'm going to start doing that because
I
it's
find it
true.
easier to just sip on something than actually be like eat. Like when I'm feeling anxious like that, I would rather throw up than eat chicken.
Right. That's a good tip. I'm definitely going to start doing that because I mean, it's so easy, like with work, like just so much stress. And I'm like, I don't want to eat anything. But you're right. Like just still fueling yourself, even if it's a smoothie and you're sipping it for 5 hours. I like that. Like showing yourself grace. Like it's okay. If it takes 5 hours, whatever. Like at least you consumed something.
I'm kind of lenient with myself on those days where I'm like, okay, maybe you didn't get 140 grams of protein in like you were supposed to.
Right.
You ate, and that's fine.
Do you have cheat days?
So I have when so right now I'm bulking, so not really. I kind of just eat the same amount every day. When I'm cutting, I have what I call refeed days. I like to say refeed instead of cheat. A refeed day is basically when you increase the amount of carbs that you're eating and you go back up to your maintenance calories. And if that means like I have a burger at dinner, like out to eat, then okay, that fits into my plan for the day. But I don't really say cheat day because in the past, I've kind of associated cheat with like binge, and I know a lot of people do.
Mm,
So where I'm
yeah.
like, oh, cheat day, I'm gonna have like Lucky Charms for breakfast and like a burger for lunch and mac and cheese
Right.
for dinner and ice cream for dessert. And then the next thing I know, like I'm so bloated and I feel disgusting. So I
Yes.
don't necessarily have cheat days, but I work what I want to eat into the macros I have for the day.
Okay. So you find that balance. That's the key. It's finding that balance. That's awesome. Yeah, because I struggle with bloating a lot too sometimes. Like I think I need to get like a food sensitivity test.
We all do now. It's so bad.
It's awful. Like I hate like eating something and then afterwards I'm like, oh, like you just feel fatigued, you're
Yeah.
tired, and it's like, okay, what am I missing? Like, do you ever, I mean, you eat really well, so do you ever still get that bloated feeling?
I'm getting a lot better with it. One thing that I realized in the past year that has made a big difference was I was eating a lot of sucralose. So
Mm,
in ways that I didn't realize, like you have to, like I would say I still digest and take in sucralose every day. Like there's some in my protein powder, but I was having too much in my diet where it causes bloating, like it retains gas. So every day around like the same time, I would just like I would feel like I was gonna pop. Like I was just in so
yes.
much pain every day. My mom was like, I think there's sucralose in your foods that you're not realizing, like the brand of Greek yogurt that I was eating and stuff like that. So I'm very careful now. And I try not to buy foods that have sucralose in it because I know it's just going to make me feel awful.
Right.
And then when I go out to eat and stuff, I'm also kind of mindful of like, I know what's worth my money spending on and what's not, kind of. Like a burger might look really good, but knowing me, like I can't eat a lot in one portion. So half the burger is going to go to waste, and then I'm going to feel bloated and gassy and sluggish for the rest of the night. So, like, maybe I'll just get some fancy chicken or something instead.
I like that. So that is literally just a form of self-love and care. The fact that you're like, and in discipline, like you're like, okay, would I want a nice fat burger? Sure, but I know how it's going to make me feel, so it's not worth it. So I'm going to have something that's still enjoyable and it'll make me feel better.
Yep. And it's really a
I
case
love
by
that.
case scenario. You know, if my friends want to go to a burger place, I'll be like, hey, let's go or whatever. But I'm not going to force myself. Like my friends all the time order food. And they're like, oh, do you want a French fry? And I'm like, no, thanks. It's like, it looks really good, but I know that I'm going to feel like crap later. And I don't want to
Right.
deal with that.
I love that. That is a great
Yeah.
form of discipline, honestly. That's a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah. I've worked hard to make sure that I maintained a healthy relationship with food because that's something that a lot of girls struggle with. So
Yeah, definitely, especially with like social media, body image, like comparing, like, no, like you have to have a healthy relationship with food. Even I'm bad, like where I just won't eat because of I feel like crap, like my body hurts. And I'm like, no, but you need to eat. And like, oh, well, I wish I was more muscular, this and that. And it's like, don't focus on that.
yeah, it's no, it's definitely hard. And there's a million people out there. And, you know, I feel very confident and comfortable in my body, but I'm not going to lie. There's times I go on social media and see someone else and I'm like, dang, like she looks so good. What I tell my clients is first thing, I'm like, get off the freaking scale. If you send me a number like one more time without me asking for you to get off the
Yeah.
scale, I'm going to yell at you. Like, just put it away. My best piece of advice is take progress pictures. I take pictures in like, I don't really do it anymore because I'm like kind
Yeah.
of comfortable where I'm at, but I can even just tell through like the pictures I take in the gym. Pictures will say a lot more than the scale can. And whenever I'm feeling like we all have those body dysmorphia moments, like, oh my God, I'm losing my progress, or like my legs look gross, or my
Right.
arms look gross. I just go back and look at pictures of myself now versus what I used to look like when I was sad and not confident and not happy. And it's literal physical proof of like how much I've changed.
Right. I love that. I am so happy that I had you on this podcast, girl, because honestly, Liz, like there needs to be more people like you. And I know there's a lot of people out there who really like care about health and wellness and really want to help other people achieve those goals.
Yeah.
And you literally do that. So thank you for being you and just, putting out such good content out there. That's my motto. Like strive to be your best self, but I love like seeing other people build other people up as well. Cause it's like there's so much
Yeah.
hate and nonsense in this world. Like we're the little lights in the world, like absolutely. I took so much too. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take notes. Gonna get back in my routine of things. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have Liz's socials in the description. You could stalk her pages and listen to her podcast. Like, everything will be there. And I know in your social, you have like your links to your website and everything, right? So they
Yeah,
can find it.
everything's in the link in the bio, as
Right.
they say.
Link in the bio.
Yeah, I'm like, I hate to say it, but it really is there. So
Right. Perfect. That way when because I know for a fact everyone's gonna be like, oh, who's Liz? So perfect. Perfect. All of that. Well, thank you so much, Liz. Again, it was great having you. I'm so glad that were willing to be on the podcast because I was like, oh my gosh, I need this girl on here. Like, it's just super inspiring and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
yes, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to listen.
Well, alrighty, guys. This is this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and definitely check Liz's stuff out. Okay. Look at her programs, look at her videos, like get inspired, be motivated, and be disciplined because Liz will definitely get you on track. Bye.